Hey, Steven, how are you, man? Hey, dude, them Padres, dude, they're falling off, aren't they? I'm disappointed, man. Let me say this to you, Steven. If that Padres team was in the National League East, they'd win it. But they're in the West, man. That's a damn shame. They're good. It's a good baseball team. If they were in the NL Central Division, they'd be giving the Brewers everything. It's just they're in a tough ass division. They're playing the Giants tonight, right? Did I see they're playing the Giants? I can't believe the Giants are back on top. Giants sucked for 3 years. They got rid of Baumgartner and back being a good franchise again. It's crazy. So what I had to do was just now, and I tell you guys something. So a guy on Twitter is like, Sills, I wish you'd come back to WDAE in Tampa, and not going to happen because that's not the kind of radio people like today. They like cheerleaders. But he's like, Ian Beckles sucks. I hate him. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm friends with Ian Beckles and I like Ian Beckles. And Ian's a friend of mine. So I don't talk trash on my friends. So you may not like him on the air. I'm not a talent scout. So all I know is I'm just a radio, TV, stream guy now. And so I don't. Someone always asks me, "What do you make of this show?" I don't know. I'm not a talent scout. There's certain people I like and certain styles I like, but I don't trash other people, man. I don't do that anymore like that. Now, unless you're being a racist like Stephen A. Smith saying something about Shohei Ohtani. How about that, what ESPN did, though? So the guy goes and says that Shohei Ohtani can't be the face of baseball because he's Chinese or he's Japanese. And they fire Max Kellerman and give Stephen A. more say over the show. Crazy. Absolute craziness. Anybody else would be fired for that. If that were a white broadcaster, he'd be fired. Can you imagine if a white broadcaster went like this? Hey, man, the Japanese player can't be the face of baseball because he's Asian. Can you imagine? That's basically what he said. And they elevate him. It's crazy. And he's not that talented. His radio shows, anytime Stephen A. Smith's ever done radio, he's been fired 10 times, him and Bomani. Bomani Jones getting a radio show is like, how many? They've given him 5. Now they've stuck him on a podcast. It's crazy. That ESPN radio network now is unlistenable. The best show on ESPN is still PTI with Wilbon and Kornheiser. I, I can't believe the Reds. I've never was sold on them. Padres are way better than them. Way better. And by the way, Padres are fun to watch. That's a fun team. They got bombers on that team everywhere. There's talent all over that Padres team. They're very good. I know, man. Steven, I can't believe it. I mean, you really think the Reds lineup is better than the Padre lineup? I don't see that. You know, Steven, I'll say this. The Padres really haven't been pitching well for the last 2 months. I love Lamar Jackson. Are they under 500 right now? No way. National League standings.
The Braves are number 1 in the NL East.
No, they're 74. Yeah, they're 6 above. Man, I remember when they were 13 above. Ken, thank you. Fox desk is hard to get on, though, dude. Got to have a gold jacket to get on that Fox desk. Hey, Trev. Yeah, hey, Ken. Very kind of you, but all them dudes now with Jimmy getting his gold jacket, all them dudes have a gold jacket now. Pretty, dude. Those Eagles look great. Atlanta sucks. Steven, I can't believe that they're kind of just hanging in there with Nolan Arenado. I thought Arenado would make a bigger difference. Not so much. They need better pitching. Cardinals have no pitching. It's gotten better a little bit. Dude, Trevor, Arthur Smith, man, that freaking team was not ready to play. They were not ready to play. It was not a good look. I mean, it was like after the first 2 series, after like Philly shut them down, it was like all of a sudden they just stopped playing. I was like, damn, really? Oh, I got to get. What 49er can I get on? Ted Robinson would be good. Voice of the Niners. Outside of how about Roger Craig? I'll try for Jerry Rice. Hey, are you watching this Eli Manning and Peyton Manning thing? They just had Barkley on. Yeah. Eli and Peyton are calling the game. Hey, Steven, when does AJ Preller get fired? He's been there 100 years. When's he get fired? Keep calling him. People keep in San Diego. They keep calling him like brilliant. Well, really? Okay. Yeah, man. Clay Helton getting fired is a big deal. Let me write that down. No way. I say Jack Del Rio or Bob Stoops. That's what I would do. I guarantee you this guy didn't do because I didn't say anything. So. How you doing, Chris? Good. Yeah. Yep. I'll get another. I'll get another guy from a generic. I'll get another generic one. Okay. And if not, don't worry about it. You know what? Hey, Chris, but I do have a question for you. Would it be okay for me to do this? So I want to do this for my advertiser, for my Hooters advertiser. Would it be okay to have a couple of the girls call in on Friday to promote what they're doing at Hooters there in National? Great. Thank you. Only 7 minutes. I'm so glad I'm the only one that hears this. But yes, I say this. Yeah. Wow, man. Can you believe Oregon? They shellacked them. How about Clay Helton getting fired today? Crushed, though. No, 42-28. But see, when you say that, a decent record at SC, you can have a decent record at Kansas. You can't have a decent record at USC. He makes $6 million a year. Let me see how much he makes. I'm going to double check that. Maybe it's 4. I know this. He makes more than the majority of the head coaches in the NFL. How much money does Clay Helton make at USC? 4 point, get this, for a decent record, like you said, he makes $4.6 million. That's a lot. Absolutely not. First name that's brought up is Urban Meyer. After that debacle, he should think about it. His football team was not prepared. Yeah, they were not prepared. Hey, let me tell you this, man. Kong Lombardi. Okay. What the hell are we doing here? That's right. His last name has a vowel. That's right. Just like Big Sales. We're probably related somehow. Shut up. Happy Football Monday to you, Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. How the hell is everybody doing tonight? Oh, I'm in a great mood. Did you not see all the fans Saturday and Sunday? All the football fans having a great time? No mask, no mandates, no nothing. Just hot dogs, beers, hamburgers, popcorn, winning, losing. Everybody having fun, man. No politics. Thank you. No national anthem stuff, no kneeling stuff. It's all football. It was America together over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I was just talking to my guy, Chris O. He's like, not very happy things going on in Columbus. Look at that. Great. I want to talk about that more than what I want to talk about what's going on in Washington, D.C. I have no interest in that. They can't get it right. They never will. They never have. Well, you think one party to the next is going to get it right? Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Forget it. I'm done. One thing over the last 6 years that has made it very clear to me, I don't care any longer what goes on in Washington because you know why? They don't care. So I have my sandbox to be happy about. You know, my life has gotten better since January 20th. You know that? I just stopped watching politics, really. I was miserable. Miserable. Now I just watch my sports. Yeah, Chris just said it. It's a cleansing. It really is. Hey, I boycott Fox and CNN. Don't care. I don't care. I saw so many great American moments. 9/11 over the weekend. By the way, I did not watch one ceremony on Saturday, and I'm going to tell you why. I didn't want to feel like everyone that was watching them. I've lived through it already. I lived through that. I cried already for my friend dying. I've already done that. Every time I see my grandfather was a first responder. I know who these people are. I revere them every day of my life. My pop was a fireman for 30 years, saving people's lives. I know what those firemen did at the Trade Center and at the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania. Why do I have to relive that? No way. I had no interest in it. Zero interest in news people making money off of a tragedy in our country. That's where you can count me out. You know what people are doing? Hey, we're going to have a really great celebration. No, you're not. You're going to sell the images of the worst moment in American history to us. And you're selling it. It's kind of dirty, if you ask me. Instead, you know what I watched? I watched a young team go into Columbus, this Oregon Ducks team, and pull off a great upset. And you know what also in the process I saw? First responders at these games being honored by the American sports fan, and it was uplifting. You tune the news on, you're in tears. I tune a football game on, I was in tears of joy. There's a difference in how I felt. There was a complete difference. I would not watch one. I kind of clicked it on and I saw people reading it. I'm like, that's it. I'm out. It's 5 seconds. Seriously, I'm out. I've already lived through that. Man. Why be brought back? My wife is so right. Why do you have to go back and live in the past? You think we're going to forget that? Never forget? Come on, man. You can hashtag me on that any day you want. Never forget. And I'm good with it because I'll never forget. Saturday, I saw like the Horseshoe packed with over 100,000 fans. On Sunday, I saw the NFL. It was just incredible games and storylines. And I loved how the NFL and college football actually celebrated the weekend. It was by the way, I want to make sure it lands here. Don't in your right mind think that I wasn't aware of what this weekend was. But I don't need the news to make me feel like they do every day to Americans. Scared, frightened, and sad. That's your job nowadays. If you work in news media, sad, frightened, and scared, congratulations. You're also part of the process. That's not very good for this country. That's not what I do. We're going to talk about uplifting moments, great moments, questionable moments. That's why sports is so awesome. You know what the best thing about my world is compared to the news? There's clarity in mine, and there's funny. It's not in yours. You move goalposts all the time. Elections, policies, finger pointing. You know what you can't do in the NFL or college football? You cost your team a game. You did. Yeah, I did. You were responsible for putting your team in a position to win. Yes, I did. I played great. There's so much more clarity in sports. I think that's why everyone reveres it and holds them to a higher standard. Don't you think? I mean, if you're a politician or you're somebody in the news, you're not really thought of in a high regard. At least today you are not. But sports athletes are held in higher regard. When Alex Rodriguez got caught taking steroids, guy was crucified, wasn't he? I mean, O.J. Simpson, that case is the most famous case of all time, and it's because he was a gigantic superstar athlete. Wasn't he was a politician? Hell, you could be Ted Kennedy and have a situation happen where a woman dies, and you could still go on serving. Never got that. Crazy, but true. That's why sports is different. By the way, I just found out Clay Helton made $4.6 million while he was the head football coach. He's got 2 more years on his contract. USC fired that guy today. $4.6 million. What? Chris O said something to me. Well, he had a pretty decent record. Okay. Well, that's not a pretty decent salary, and it's SC. Southern Cal could find their guy and name their guy to be the next head coach, and that includes pro coaches. You don't think pro coaches would stop whatever they were doing to sign a 5-year, $25 million contract? Oh, and they have the money. The endowment at USC, remember, they're private. They don't have to divulge anything. They can get whoever they want, and they got the money to do it. They got the money to do it. Clay Helton's a good friend. I posted a picture of me and him. I like Clay. Time for a move, though. You can't be pretty decent at Southern Cal and keep your gig. You just can't. But like I said, great weekend, man. Great weekend. Storyline came out this weekend, though. The big storyline was Aaron Rodgers. Everyone was going to watch and see, how he performed against the Saints, who are rebuilding. They put Jameis Winston in there. By the way, is the Jeopardy job still open? Is the Jeopardy job open still? I think it is, right? Or have they named someone yet? I thought they were looking at Robin Roberts potentially to take that gig. That's what Alex Trebek wanted. He wanted an African-American woman to take his place. I actually like Robin. Robin's a good friend, and Robin's a very talented person. But Aaron Rodgers wanted that job too. So get this. Follow me here in this. So all offseason, Aaron Rodgers made a gigantic thing out of the way that the Packers have been treating him, right? Everything was a big deal. Everything had issues, right? How they talked to him, how they didn't ask him his thought process on the direction of the team, maybe some guys that could be added to the team. You know, his thought process was, you drafted Jordan Love, who was going to be the future of the team. Maybe you should just get rid of me now. So everything was a big deal to him, right? Well, how about this one? They get destroyed by the Saints. They get destroyed by the Saints. Destroyed. And Matt LaFleur, the head coach, goes, that was embarrassing. You know what Aaron Rodgers said? Well, I wouldn't use that word. He goes, I would. To me, it's one game. It's only one game. Oh, I see. So you getting your asses kicked is not a big deal. But the way the Packers talked to you was, I mean, guy, losing a ball game is not a big deal to you. But the way they talk to you is a bigger deal. Here, there's the difference between him and Tom Brady. The way you talk to me has no significance in how the way people think of you. If your coach is talking trash to you or somebody that you have respect for, it's probably because you don't respect anybody in your organization. And that's why you have a problem with it. Do you know how many coaches have talked trash to me over my life? But do you know those same coaches that trash me are my friends to this day? Because it was coming from a place of love, wanting me just to get better. Talking about a soft-ass personality. Aaron Rodgers is soft. Well, it was a bigger deal the way they treated me. Instead of getting your ass kicked on Sunday, you had the worst offense of any NFL team. Of all 32 teams, the Packers were the worst. They scored 3 points against the team that's breaking in a new quarterback in Jameis Winston. And Jameis had 5 touchdowns and no turnovers. And I think it's the first time in NFL history a guy has thrown for that least amount of yards. I think it was 148 with 5 touchdowns. They destroyed the Packers. Now, am I going to make more of it? I just don't like his attitude. That's not really that big a deal. It's one game. I don't know about you, man, but first impressions are a bitch, aren't they? People take first impressions of you all the time. And you know what? That becomes a narrative sometimes in how people perceive you, isn't it? They'll look at you and go like this. Well, this guy's this guy. And it's who he is forever. And they'll never change that notion of you. Very seldom do you see a guy change a directive of a guy's projection of what he's thought of in the beginning. Like Dabo Swinney, the head coach of Clemson. He was an interim coach. Does anybody remember that? He was the interim coach at Clemson. Now he's one of the highest paid coaches at $9.5 million a year. I actually like Dabo. You don't see Dabo looking for NFL jobs, do you? Why would he? You think there's going to be an NFL team out there pay Dabo Swinney $10 million a year? I would never coach in the NFL. There's too many people you have to deal with. And Rodgers is over there moaning and crying and bitching. But then when it comes to the game, it was one game. I don't know about you, man, but I hate that mentality. I so hate that attitude. Every game matters. Every time you step on the field, you're being evaluated. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. Every time I go on the air, there's a tape. Every time I say something, I'm evaluated. Whether you guys like it or you don't, it always depends, again, on the results of how we land our take. That's just my small world. And then when you see Aaron Rodgers act like that, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want that guy as my quarterback on my team, and I don't give a crap how great he is. I really don't. I saw something over the weekend that shows you hard work pays off. Really, really impressive. I'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Good. Uh-huh. What's that? What's that? What are you saying? I don't. I'm not. Oh, okay. Because John Gruden's overrated. That is awesome. Seeing the black hole there. Little bit. Little bit. Yeah, at Notre Dame when he was there with those worms. No, we killed them every year we played them, so it wasn't big. It wasn't a big deal. No, it's a fact. You can look it up. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be whether you believe it or not. No, I don't think you do. No, no, no. And Tim Brown was great, huh? Can you name me one significant catch he had in his career? Name me one significant catch Tim Brown had in his career that you went, wow, man, do you remember that? I can't. He played on so many sorry ass teams and accumulated points. He got in because he's a Notre Dame dude. Tim Brown's a bum. Tim Brown's a bum. Yeah. Not temper tantrum. It's a fact tantrum. Not you. Tim Brown sucks. Absolutely. Not angry. No, just keeping it real. Sure. Be more informed about it, but it's all good. Tim Brown was great. Really? Shit. Look at Ray Lewis there. Another Kane, of course. Am I? It's called being Gruden. I so hate John Gruden. I do. I can't. Chris just goes angry. No, 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 no. When you're 19 and 29 and you have $100 million deal and you're kind of decent, I'm not, Jesus Christ. Don't people hold people to high standards any longer? Or wait a minute. I know we're in the era of, hey, that's a good old boy try. Congratulations for the old college effort. Here's a commemorative participation medal. Congratulations to you. I'm so glad my daughter threw her 10th place participation trophy into garbage. Did it right in front of me. I was so proud of her. I had a tear in my eye. I looked at her. I go, "That's great." She said, "Dad, if you're not in the top 3," I said, "Right on. If you're not in the podium, it doesn't count. It doesn't count, man." John Gruden's a BS artist. He really is, man. Al Davis hated that guy. I'll tell you the quick story on him. And for him to be the head coach of the Raiders is stunning. Amy Trask on my Twitter won't respond to it or comment on it because she knows it's the truth. Do you know that when he was the head coach of the Raiders the first time around, he contrived with the general manager, Bruce Allen, his agent, to get out of Oakland so that he can go and take a job in Tampa and coached the Buccaneers. He wanted out because he wanted more control of the personnel. John Gruden, as a personnel guy, is horrible. Name me one guy he's ever drafted offensively. Was he responsible for Charles Woodson? Yes. Name me one offensive guy he's ever drafted. One. One guy. And he wanted more control. Al Davis came, because I was handpicked by Al to work on the pre and post game show. I became immense friends with Al Davis. He called me up and he goes, "Do you know this snake and this backstabbing son of a bee? And that other snake, Bruce Allen, they want to trade, and so I'm going to trade him." He got 3 first-rounders and a couple other picks. Sent him to the Buccaneers. He wins a Super Bowl with Tony Dungy's guys, and he's been pedestrian ever since. Got a nice deal with ESPN. By the way, if it sounds jealousy, it's not jealousy. It's just I don't like when frauds are being portrayed as somebody they're not. Like, there are so many great coaches today. That guy up in Buffalo, that Sean McDermott dude, is so good. I know they got beat over the weekend by the Steelers. But he is such a good coach. And John's been more kind of like, I don't know, it's been like TV stuff. Maybe it's more so I don't trust the guy. Al Davis didn't. And for Mark Davis to put him back in as head coach, completely against every single thing that Al Davis would want. There's no way Al would want John Gruden as the head coach. He's rolling over in his grave right now. Probably put a hex on his ass. I mean, Al is just, he hated him with a passion. And so did Al Locasal. I was there in the room. I was there in the room. How that guy's the head coach of the Raiders shocks me. Shocks me. Hey, this goes out to our great friends in the Phoenix area at our Valley Hooters. Hey, man, I hope you had a great time watching your favorite college and pro games over the weekend. Arizona State, Arizona, the Valley Hooters is all set up for you. You're going to love the fact that they have fantasy football. They also have great draft specials, like $3 Michelob Ultra drafts for you. All the great food specials they have. Listen, you can watch it and watch all your favorite Cardinal games there as well. It is one of the best places in the Valley, your local Valley Hooters. Do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you. All right, a great environment over the weekend. I learned so much about this one coach. We'll hit on him next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. I don't need timeout. Yeah, well, because obviously you don't listen to people who have convictions in their takes. I'm not. No, I'm not. Having actually a fine day. Oh, really? It's okay, sweetheart. You know, I know you're not usually used to all that, but it's okay, honey. I love you too. Oh, really? Is that it? Oh, interesting. You know I'm teasing. I'm not really. Yeah. Sweetie, it's okay. It's just that, I need to get back to my like tempered ways and how I look at things and stop being so fluffy. I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. Have you seen Emily Capano over on Fox? Good grief. Smoking. Yeah. Unbelievable. And I'm talking about her takes. Oh, yeah. Probably walking Greenville. How you doing? Meatpacking. Thank you. Uh-huh. Okay, Chris, thank you. Here, let me write that down. Trainees hang out near meatpacking in Dallas. Oh, New York. Oh, that's true too. That's right. Well, see, you got to give me a map go where you are in the world, dog. I mean, you're sitting in Dallas. How would I know that you're talking about New York? Well, yeah, okay, right. No, I actually talked to the people in Philly today, and they were saying you put a sprinkle of ketchup bomb with mustard in at the link. Philly. Wow. Look how angry you are, man. I mean, oh, Tom, you sound such an angry human today. My little comic playbook. Ah. I don't know, man. I nowhere really. Actually, nowhere. No, there's no winning move. It's just angry win move. I don't know. I'm with you. I'm gonna end this thing with no. Watch this. This is going to be a bit that I'm going to close that really shouldn't have began in the first place. I don't hate Tim Brown. Tim Brown in 2 games against us at 17 yards. He sucked. I didn't say that against us. I never saw. Oh, sure, he was a great player. He won a Heisman, I guess, right? A Pee Wee football team. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Huh. No, we were 58-0 at home. Yeah, we have the record for the most consecutive wins. 58-0. That means that Miami didn't lose a home game for over 10 years. Do you know that? Yeah, really? Well, there's no other program there. Actually, Florida State got to 57 and lost. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Actually, Miami of Ohio back in the day was really great. Hey, Miami of Ohio, that's where Bo coached. That's where Woody coached. That's where Air Parsegian coached. All them coaches came through that place. It's not what it is. It's not what it was back then, today, you know. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. So my board op, Chris O, was telling me no, he said he just knew how to touch my buttons. And I was just thinking, well, I know how to do that too. You know, I mean, yeah, it's okay. Honey, I love you. It's okay. Yeah, no. I just, I was curious. Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean? What are you threatening me now? I forgot. You know me. I have CTE. I don't remember what I said. But something must have touched you off. What was that? Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no. See, listen, man, unlike you, I'm grateful for getting great. Oh, thank you. Am I given the green light to go now? Sure. I'll tell you, I'll tell you this on Saturday. From Columbus, when I saw the Oregon Ducks go into Ohio State in the horseshoe and win that football game, the way they did, the way they dominated, I was pretty shocked. And it was the biggest win for the Pac-12 in probably 7 years. They needed that win against one of, look, do we all know who the programs are? Ready? Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson. You beat one of those 4 teams. You know, you can have really good like, look at Arkansas beat Texas. You think that's a big deal? Since when has Texas been good? You're going off the name. I'll get to Texas here in a minute. Okay? A&M's a better program right now. They hang on. By the way, they're my 5th team in the country. I vote on the top 25. And I got Texas A&M right there at number 5. Jimbo Fisher's done a pretty decent job with that program since he's taken over. But my friend Mario Cristobal, I posted a picture of me and him. He's a Miami Hurricane. I played with his brother. And these two guys were young bucks when I was in my final year at Miami. And I love these two guys. I love the Cristobal family. And he got a job in South Florida. I believe it was at FAU or FIU. I forget which one it was. But he was a coach there for about 5 years, early in his tenure. Then they ended up firing him. He ends up going to Alabama, becoming the offensive line coach. And there he learns the process of coaching under Nick Saban. Now he's at Oregon. He's got one of the top programs in the country. And he's one of the top young, bright coaches in the country. I was so happy for him. I was cheering for him, and everyone's like, come on, Sills, we need him at Miami. Why would he ever leave to go to Miami? You got Phil Knight and Nike on your side there at Oregon. Why would you leave? The resources are 10-1. Miami has no facilities, not like Oregon. Miami's a private institution. It's not one of the wealthier teams in the country. Even though they have that gigantic brand, they don't have the facilities that Oregon does. That's why you're not attracting the superstar players any longer at Miami. It's because these kids want to go to places that have exposure and on top of that, have the greatest facilities that give them the best chance to become a professional athlete. They want visibility too. Now, Miami's always on TV because of the brand. But eventually that's going to wear out too, especially when you're struggling against Appalachian State, getting crushed by Alabama. It's been a pretty bad start to the season for the Canes, in my opinion. Oregon, great start. They get by a Fresno State team. And you know what's crazy? Fresno State played Oregon tougher than the Ohio State Buckeyes did. Why do you think that is? Do you know anything about Fresno State? Do you know who Fresno State has on their team? All the guys that USC and UCLA, Cal, and Stanford didn't want. Couldn't get in because of grades. Maybe you're a couple inches too short. Maybe a couple seconds too slow. Those are all the kids that have something to prove. So Fresno's always going to play you like it's their hair's on fire. You don't ever want to schedule the Bulldogs because they're going to play 60 minutes of football against you because they have so much to prove. Those teams are teams that I love. I love teams like that. And Mario Cristobal said it. He goes, hey, man, we were lucky to get away with that win against Fresno. Fresno State. Got to know your opponents. You know what Ohio State thought? Soft-ass Pac-12 team's going to roll in? No. Mario showed me a lot there. I really did, man. He showed me a lot. Showed me a lot. Had his team prepared. Had his team ready to go. And they went in there and beat the piss out of him. You had Ryan Day going, the kid the week earlier at Minnesota had 170 yards rushing. Oregon ran him over. There's a problem, okay, in Columbus right now. The football team's not very good. It's not. They'll be lucky. Hey, maybe this is Jim Harbaugh's year to beat Michigan finally. Michigan looks decent. They'll continue to get better. By the way, you know one of the things that I've been very disappointed with the Jim Harbaugh football team? The number one thing that I have always been stunned about with Jim Harbaugh is that he's not able to get quarterbacks to go to Ann Arbor. You would think with a guy with that kind of knowledge of the game, by the way, Jim's a great coach. You know what his NFL record is? It's something like 42-19, 44-19. He's got a great NFL record. He's got a great coaching record, period. But what shocks me is he can't get top flight quarterbacks to go to Michigan. What? Since when? That's a problem. You're telling me that Nick Saban can get all those quarterbacks down Alabama. You can't get one? And you got to take transfers to go to Michigan? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be a good look there. All right. Let me get over to this here. I saw something over the weekend that was so cool. I'm going to make a comparison to you. You guys know, and again, I want to be fair to Urban Meyer here. And I want to make it very clear to Urban Meyer and to the Jaguars. So the Houston Texans this entire offseason has been a train wreck. The whole Deshaun Watson case. They plugged in Tyrod Taylor. David Culley's a brand new head coach. You know, he was an assistant coach in the NFL for 28 years. Do you know that? 28 years he had to wait to get a job. And you know what they do? And they tell him, you can't have Deshaun Watson because of what's going on behind the scenes with all these cases. So he has to plug in Tyrod Taylor. You know what he does with his coaching staff? They're prepared. They go into the game and they destroy the Jags with all of Urban Meyer's hype, all of Trevor Lawrence's hype, all the money they put into the coaching staff, all the money they put into scouting. They gave Urban Meyer everything on a platter. And you know what I saw? I saw a football team unprepared. I saw a football team not in position to win. I saw a football team out of shape. I saw a football team not mentally focused. I saw sporadic play calling, and the thing was a train wreck. Let's go on to the other side now. I watched a guy by the name of Nick Sirianni, who was the head coach of the Eagles. I watched him as he got his team. I didn't know anything about – well, that's not true. I knew Nick was a wide receiver coach in San Diego when the Chargers were in San Diego, and he worked for Frank Reich. And when Frank got the head coaching job in Indianapolis, one of his first hires was Nick Sirianni, and Nick Sirianni worked with Frank in Indy last year where they won 11 games, and they really played well last year with Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. Played great, and Sirianni had a lot to do with that. So I watch him as he prepares against the Atlanta Falcons. The plays that were designed, the flow of the game, the attitude, the poise, the patience, all of that was on display. It was completely on display. And for a first-time coach, he was organized. Team was motivated. Team was in shape. Look, Atlanta sucks. Okay? They do. I mean, I could have swore they put up the white flag immediately, like in the second quarter. And that just was not a very good football team. And they blasted them. But everything that Nick did to put his team, for such a young guy, you can tell that the details, everything was addressed. That's how I see coaches. That's how I watch a coach. The Eagles, I don't know how far they're going to go, but do you know when you're organized and you're prepared, you're in shape, and you're motivated, you can do remarkable things, can't you? In anything in your life. Those are the least athletic things you can possibly do. Focus. Be in shape. Be on time. Know your assignments. There's no athleticism needed for those things. Isn't that crazy? All those small intangibles that athletes have to apply to their skill set, sometimes are the most difficult things for athletes to do. I guess the devil's in the details sometimes for some of these guys, right? How many times you see like look at Aaron Rodgers this past weekend? Aaron Rodgers sucked out loud. Sucked out loud. You know, it's funny. Chris was telling me. He goes, man, you're like, aggressive today. Well, because you know why? Scoreboards make you see reality. And sometimes people hate reality. Well, that guy sucked this past weekend. It's complete clarity. Here, watch. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles played great. Aaron Rodgers sucked. He was terrible. Matthew Stafford was spectacular. Plus 25 plays last night against the Bears. The Bears, why are you playing Andy Dalton? Why are you playing him? What's the point? You're not going nowhere with him. You got Justin Fields. Play the kid. Could you do any worse? I watched Zach Wilson with the Jets. Thought he was decent. I mean, I don't know. But the same old Jets again. But there were moments. Lost to Sam Darnold in Carolina. I don't know. There were so many good. Mac Jones, the quarterback for the Patriots. How about this, too? Everybody was tugging on Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback for the Dolphins, saying how bad he was. Do you know that Tua now has won 8 of 11 starts? I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me, don't you? Think it's good? 8 of 11? Okay. He was effective and efficient. I'm not saying that he's going to win the AFC East, but I thought it was good. You can tell really good organizations. Like, let me say this to you. John Harbaugh with the Ravens. He's such a great coach. One of the most underrated coaches in the NFL. Always has his team ready. Always has his team prepared. The guy's a chameleon as a coach. He can coach Joe Flacco. He can turn around and he can coach a guy like Lamar Jackson. He's just a sensational coach. I love people like that. You give me whatever is in front of me, and I'll make it work. How many times do you know this? In your business, oh my God, in the radio business, if a guy doesn't have it set up exactly the way he has seen radio or he has seen broadcasting, he'll never vary off that. It drives me crazy. Things change, dude. Things change all the time. All the time in our business. How many times do you watch a guy do that in your own profession? Guy just has a plan. It's set in stone. No matter what, you're like, that ain't working today. That's why coaches get fired in the NFL too, just like in business, because they can't adjust. That's what happened to Tom Landry in the end. That flex defense that got way too old. That's what killed Coach Landry in the end. Hey, listen. Do me a favor, guys. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Please go over and see my friends. They're on the website. 25% off everything that's on the website. Gamers, this is your one-stop place. Use the promo code Sileo. S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S-I-L-E-O. That's the promo code. Listen, shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 or $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That is podcasterwarehouse.com. Something that is very significant to the future of the National Football League. I saw something really cool that they did, and it's important for all of us. I'll tell you what that is. We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Where are you looking at it? That's Vegas. Oh, okay. I like it. She went to school with me. Another hurricane. That's right, baby. Another hurricane, Junior. Look at that. Clay Helton had the most wins, 21 in his first 2 seasons of any coach in USC history. And they fired him. Oh, good. I listened to it. It's really good. How many? Yeah, make sure you just keep reposting it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I was just thinking about something here. And I made sure I tweeted this out too. Something that the NFL needs to promote more, or do you think they'll be afraid? This goes into, and by the way, again, this is not so much shilling for one side of the aisle or not when it comes to vaccinations, but how are you and how are the American sports consumer taking in the images when you watch college football on Saturday and NFL football with all these packed houses and not one mask in the building? Columbus had 100,000 plus in the building on Saturday, 0 mask. All the NFL stadiums were packed, 0 mask. You can't tell me every one of those people in the building were vaccinated. No way. What's the number? 80 million Americans are still unvaccinated out of 360 million? I mean, come on here. How are you consuming those visuals when you're hearing what people are saying in Washington? To me, the American public doesn't believe Washington, or you wouldn't be at the, because you know what I wondered? Would you go to games after you were given the all clear? And by the way, we really haven't been given the all clear here, right? Vaccinations and stuff make it, I guess, according to certain people, safer. From what I'm hearing, I guess. I wondered if people would show back up. You couldn't wait to get back to the stadiums. You couldn't wait to get back into buildings. I didn't see one mask over the weekend. Not one. I saw at least 7 stadiums with 80,000 plus of fans packed to the brim. Where I'm going with this is, you think the NFL and college football should promote that or not? Or just let it lay there? Because you know what's going to happen. One side's going to promote it and the other side's going to condemn it. CNN's all over it. Because remember something, though. CNN has no vested interest in sports. They're owned by Time Warner. And Time Warner doesn't really have a sports outlet, okay, where they're airing games. So it's Fox does. They air college and pro games. And for the record, here, could this be something that networks will take and go after sports now? Did you see the numbers for like CNN's ratings? Down 52% since Donald Trump left the White House. Fox's ratings have gone through the roof. Everyone was under the assumption Fox needed Trump. No, MSNBC and CNN needed Trump. The nighttime numbers are abysmal. Is this something now that you go after? Because, by the way, the ratings over the weekend or last weekend for the Monday night or for the Thursday night game, 28 million Americans watched that game. The numbers for the weekend and NFL and college will just be incredible. There were great games, that's why. Okay? Incredible. I'm just wondering, I don't think the NFL is going to promote that because the NFL is promoting vaccinations, right? They're getting their cake and eat it, folks. Think about Chris, think about everybody. Think about it for a second. The NFL is promoting vaccinations. Well, get this, but their stadiums aren't. They're getting their cake and eat it. Right? That's right. So the NFL is telling you, as they always do, one thing and they're doing another. That's right. So the NFL's like, hey, everybody, get vaccinated. It's so important. What about your fans? It's a brilliant move because no one's going to call them on it. Why would you promote it? You wouldn't. Let it just lay there. We'll take a look at all the games from this past weekend, NFL. There were some really telling games. We'll do that at the bottom of next hour. Some really, really interesting ball games. But think about that and Steven's right. Hey, the vaccination business is a $1 trillion business now. Hey, Big Seals, take stock in Eli Lilly. Thank you. All right, we'll reset. So much more to hit on with NFL and college football. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Be right back. Hmm. I'm always ready, Junior. Just stop crying. You know what? You cry way too much for me. You know you don't. You think you do, but you don't really. Whatever you want to put me on. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Yeah, let me blast you in your ears a little more. Oh yeah, man. I'll tell you flat out here. Let me say this. I am so thrilled to death to see our favorite sport back in full gear. Now, I will tell you that I haven't been keeping an eye, how you doing, on baseball a little bit. Baseball's becoming a little bit intriguing, especially out west with the Dodgers and Giants. As we knew, the Yankees would fade. It's just the pitching is just not there. From day one, that was my statement, and I stuck with it. Yeah, you know, what's funny is the Yankees, they'll always go for the big bats. Okay? What has John Carlos brought to the Yankees since he come over from the Marlins? Honestly, ask yourself that question. What's he brought to them? Why are you paying that guy $30 million? Why? That money could be spread out in your bullpen. And like what do you think the Rays would do with $30 million? Win 120 games? It's a joke. Poorly spent money in New York has been a theme since Big Senior died. At least George knew how to spend it. And if George Steinbrenner overpaid for a guy, what would he end up doing? Remember that guy, Hideki Matsui? Remember what he did? You mean the fat toad? He'd start going after guys. Same thing he went after Winfield. Yeah, Hideki Arabu, excuse me. That's right. Remember what he called Dave Winfield? Mr. May. Hey, boss let you have it, man. He liked guys who performed and produced. You know what? Here, I'll give you a great line out of Ford versus Ferrari. You got to see it. It's really a great. They were battling Enzo Ferrari, and they believe me, they ended up winning actually Le Mans. But Enzo Ferrari, the greatest car designer in the history of cars, and the greatest engine designer of all time, he went like this to like one of the it was Lee Iacocca actually, because Ford was thinking of buying Ferrari back in the 60s, and Fiat ended up buying it. And you know what Enzo Ferrari said? He goes, hey, go back and tell Mr. Ford this. You're not Henry Ford. You're Henry Ford II. Hank and Hal, you may be a Steinbrenner, but you're not George Steinbrenner. You're not George Steinbrenner. It's true. You know, sometimes the apple's thrown from the tree. Okay? The Yankees, it's hard for me in my lifetime to ever come to grips with this. You know that the Red Sox in the last 20 years have been more formidable than the New York Yankees? In my lifetime, I thought I would never say that. I thought I would never do this. Last 20 years, the Red Sox have been a better organization. It's a fact. What? The Red Sox. The Red Sox. Okay. Great teams, great ballpark. Heritage out the wazoo. But not really known for really winning titles. Unless you go back early baseball days. All of a sudden now they're winning a World Series. Competitive. Good teams. Jesus, gravity. And the Yankees are, well, they're right there with the Blue Jays. Or maybe a tick up from the Blue Jays. Because they ain't the Rays. Actually, the Rays, if you want to really be candid, over the last 6 years, 7 years, the Rays have been a better team than the Yankees. the Rays, who spend no money on payroll, are better. And the Yankees spend $250 million every year on payroll. Okay. Money not well spent. See, this is me talking as a Yankee fan, though. I have expectations for the franchise. You think it's about winning American League pennants? Absolutely not. Just like Rupp Arena with the Kentucky Wildcats, you think they hang SEC banners there? Or do you think they hang national championships in that arena? That's the expectations in New York. You think in Alabama they they may hang SEC, because today I think it's actually harder to win the Southeastern Conference Championship than a national title. And it proves itself out every time Alabama gets in that game. They spank anyone who gets in that game with them. Spank. I just got asked a question on Twitter about John Gruden. I said that John Gruden should be fired as the head coach of the Raiders. He goes, why? And I go like this, 19-29-0 is not enough for you? I don't know. You're making $10 million a year? You can do all the bitching you want and make all the faces you want on the sidelines. This has got to come down to production and winning. You know what's cool about, and again, I said this a little bit ago. You know, sports, and I'm not, hey folks, know this, I'm not upset, but I've got clarity tonight. Bottom of the hour, we're going to go over some of the games, and I'm going to show you how it begins, how you get a personality and how you get a narrative on a particular team, and how you can start to formulate how that team is going to look for the rest of the year. Are we going to make more out of the 60 minutes? Because it's overreaction Monday always, right? Good and bad. You know, I mentioned it a little bit ago that Aaron Rodgers looked horrific and probably the worst that I've ever seen him look in his career. Is that going to change my opinion of him? Absolutely not. You know, Aaron Rodgers over the last 2 years is 26-7. I'm not going to go crazy on that. It wasn't a good start, though. And it's because it's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'm going to always give that guy the benefit of the doubt. But after a while, it becomes trends, right? After a while, you start doing this. You know, the poster's a little bit bigger and better than the movie. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes the hype doesn't really live up to it. Like I mentioned to you also, Urban Meyer, I think, is going to flop in the NFL. Why would I say that after one game? Because that guy's used to quick fixes. When he was at Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State, didn't really need a fix. It just got better. He's used to this. Quick turnarounds. That ain't no quick turnaround in Jacksonville. That is not a quick turnaround. And what do you think the biggest reason for failure is for coaches? It's funny. It's not them. It's the people around them. How many times, Chris and I have had this conversation. By the way, if you watch us on our social media platforms, we play a lot. But Chris knows this as well as anybody, especially in radio. You don't have a good team around you, you can't win. You can have the most talented people. Look at who Howard Stern has around him. Maybe the best sidekick in the history of radio, and Robin Quivers. Sets him up, puts it on a tee for him, and he knocks it out of the ballpark. She get the perfect timing, personality for him. She's the greatest sidekick in history. She's paid like it too. Gary, the producer, I mean, he's been with Stern not the entire time, but pretty much the greatness of the career. Gary Delabonte, I think that's how you say his last name. He's been with Stern almost the entire time. Fred too. Fred goes all the way back to New Haven. New Haven and Hartford. I mean, he's had people around him his entire, that's a team. Stern's nowhere near that. And people would say this, that show's not the same. It's not. There's no TNA to it. But it's okay. So having a great Jimmy Johnson told me this. Having great assistant coaches around you is so vital. Do you know that's the problem that a lot of these organizations though are starting to like really start to meddle way too much. And you know where the meddling comes? They're hiring these assistants for these head coaches. Why? Let the guy pick people who he wants. You know, that's one of the coolest things about radio. Some places will give you the autonomy to bring your own producer in. Hey, you want your own producer? Great. Here's our parameters. And there'll always be a financial fixture when it comes to the parameters of what they'll pay a producer. But the good places let you bring a guy in. The other places, unless you've got, I got lucky here with Chris. I got exceptionally lucky. You just it never works like that. Guy's just there and he's good. It's not there like that. I 100 jobs you could do that and never happen like that. Same thing with coaches. So when I watch certain coaches, he had the autonomy to hire whoever he wanted, and he's bringing these pro guys in. I'm talking Urban Meyer, and I went like this. Man, that thing was a train wreck. That's got to get fixed. How do you lose to the Texans? How do you lose to the Texans? Ask yourself that. Trevor Lawrence, the number one pick, he had moments of really good football. But the rest of it was the coaching staff, sidelines, pre-snap penalties. I mean, the Texans, who have been a train wreck the entire offseason, the Deshaun Watson case, all over the place, everything. And David Culley gets his opportunity, and they blast the Jags. You think it gets better? Well, I sure hope so for Urban Meyer. Oh, and by the way, the rumors are now going around Urban Meyer to USC. He would never take that job. You know why? This guy's making like $9 million a year. Now, maybe SC would pay that. I don't know. SC paid Pete Carroll a lot of dough. USC just fired Clay Helton today. He was making $5 million a year. Clay Helton. When he got the job, everyone went, Clay Helton? What? And you paid him $5 million. Do you know how many coaches in the NFL don't make $5 million? Almost all of them. Do you think Kevin Stefanski or any of these young guys like Brandon Staley with the Chargers makes $5 million a year? You think he's on a $25 million contract with the Chargers and the Spanos family? That guy's lucky if he's making $3.5 million coaching the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Why in the world would he do that? Some suggestions I throw out. I mean, Jack Del Rio, to me, the defensive coordinator for Washington and former USC Trojan. Bob Stoops is a name, too. That comes to mind. I don't know if Bob wants to do it. He made a king's ransom at Oklahoma. Hey, bottom of the hour, we'll take a look at the action from this past Sunday. It was really good. Really good. And a little more on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Will it get better? We'll hit on it next. Wow. Excuse me? I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Really? Why would it be on your local channel, not ESPN? Oh, okay. Huh. Since when? Let me see if it's on here. Local. Yes, it's here local too. So they're simulcasting that on ESPN and ABC. Interesting. Yeah, but it's also Peyton Manning and Eli doing it. It's like Howdy Doody Hour. Howdy Doody. I've never left. Wow. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. So we have the Howdy Doody Hour tonight. It's Peyton and Eli calling the Monday night game. What do you think, bro? Yeah. Hey, man. I'll tell you what, you could probably land a B-52 on the forehead of Peyton Manning. Did you see him earlier put the Ravens helmet on? That guy has a 10 head. I mean, if you put a bucket and you put the bucket under his chin and put a face mask on it, that's what you would need for a helmet. That's one of the largest noggins I've ever seen. Oh, no. Check it out, too. If we were in the sun, you would need a gigantic case of, like, eye black to, like, cover his forehead because the glare off that forehead, it could power Vegas. Okay? I mean, it could power Vegas. Look at that sun dish that he has for a forehead. No, I'm just asking, man. Tell me that's not a 9 head. It's not a forehead. That's a 9 head. Hey, man. Hey, what do you think, Eli? Hey, bring me some crawdads. What do you think we're doing over here? What do you think John Gruden's doing? I was like this, man. It was like a little bit southern for me. What did he say? Did he say y'all fixing? Yeah, my grandfather goes like this when I took my wife, because my wife's from Dallas, and I took her back to like Connecticut. She goes, Mr. Sileo, I'm fixing to go to the store. Do you need anything? And so my grandfather goes like this to me. Hey, come here. What's fixing? I go, it's like I'm about to go do something. So yeah, he goes, so it's about like you're gonna do something, like I'm fixing. Yeah, I go, it's like forget about it. Forget about it. It's kind of like that. I mean, look at it that way. Oh, okay. It's slang. Kind of. Mr. Silly, I'm fixing to go to the store. Do you need any milk or anything? Dan, what's fixing? Yeah, no. Yeah. So I had to clue him in on fixing. That's what I'm watching here. No, no, I don't think. I think Papa John's has put the rest. Don't you? Yeah, especially after that whole thing. No, no, no. I don't think. From what I understand, I think he sold all of his Papa John's shares. I think he's out of that now. Yeah. So yeah, these guys are drawing plays up and they're talking and they're going back and forth and y'all fixing and mom sent something in like stop scratching your forehead. No, man, no angry. I'm excited. See, in your world, Chris, you're angry every day because you have to listen to the news all day. Okay, I'm not. I'm actually. How about this? You call it. I call it conviction. You see, I have conviction. I'm not a waffler. I do love waffles, and I like it more than French toast. But I do like bagel. What is it? I do like waffles. I'm a waffle guy. That's the only waffle I have in my life is the waffle I eat. My convictions, yeah. I saw things over the weekend and I saw things that really made me feel great. And I also went like this. This is what happens when we start getting results. This is what happens when we start talking about scores. This is what happens when I look at Ohio State getting run off the field in Columbus. I mean, Ryan Day, hello, your team sucks. Oh, see how he is here, man. See what he did. He showed you 101 radio right there. It's called a lead in. See that? Transitioning. Thank you very much for my friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Hey, headphones, earbuds, everything you need. Gamers, this is your one-stop place. 25% off everything on the website. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO. That's S as in Sam, ILEO. $5 to $5,000. Podcasterwarehouse.com. That is podcasterwarehouse.com. We will look at the results. I'll give you my spin on what we saw this past weekend. Can you take anything out of the first week of football? We'll hit on it next. No, you weren't helping me out. You just got in my way there. It's okay. Don't worry. I helped you and saved you. No. See how you get your panties in a bind now? Now see how you get you see. Wow. Are you going way overboard? Really? Oh, so many tears. Oh man, John Gruden's getting a little fat under the chin. No, I'm fantastic. I actually ate. Oh, I know. I know why. Maybe I'm in a like spirited mood. I had dinner early tonight. No, there's no allow anything. No, my wife would put saltpeter in my food if she had. Yeah. You learn and you live. No shit. Hey, honey, my hair's on fire. I have to leave. I gotta go. Honey, my hair's on fire. Raiders tried for it on fourth down. They didn't get it. Yes, I am. Yeah, I know I am. I had them all. Dude, I love when they take them and make movies out of the comics. I watched those when I was a kid. Hmm. No, no, no. No, but the last time they played, Ohio State beat the piss out of them. They came in and they were different. Yeah, that's all I would have to do is show up and go like this: win, or you'll all be executed. Listen here, guys. If you don't win, there won't be one guy left. I'll get a whole new goddamn team of you guys. No, that's what Jimmy would go like this. He'd go like this. How many guys want to keep their scholarships? We put our hands up. What is it? Which one? Which one? Oh, don't worry, kid. Yeah, don't worry, son. It's okay. I'll hook you up, man. I know. You're quite welcome. Don't worry. I don't pass them out that often, but I'll hook you up. I'll help you. Well, you better appreciate it because, yeah. Absolutely. I am Babe Ruth. I hit 3 home runs in a game, too, when I was in the Boston Braves. Thank you. Babe Ruth Sileo here. How you doing? Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. The Babe Ruth of radio, sports radio. How you doing? If you're watching us on our social media pages, we really appreciate it over on our Twitch and our YouTube. It's fun. We're all having fun. Okay. Chris is like, you sound tougher tonight. Why? Oh, Chris. Because when you have results, you can speak your mind. Do you know this is what always got me in trouble? Watch when I go through what I saw this weekend. And I'll even start it with the Cowboys and the Buccaneer game. And then you tell me if it's hater radio or reality radio. Watch this. Cowboys, they get beat by the Buccaneers 31-29. Bucks played their worst game in the last 7 months. 4 turnovers. they still win. The Cowboys played better and lost still. Dak looked great in a loss. Kellen Moore called a great play, offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. My takeaway from that, Dak had 400 yards, again, big numbers, and low result. They didn't hand the ball off to a $20 million back, Ezekiel Elliott, 11 carries, 33 yards. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to win a game, that Dak Prescott number's got to be down. I'm going to prove a point to you. The passing stat is the most overrated stat on the planet in football. So here, the Buccaneers are going to get better. Well, the Cowboys, I don't know. They seem better. Cowboys are a team that has lived on that. The Buccaneers, on the other hand, are the defending champions. I think they'll get better. A game that I hit on a little bit a couple minutes ago. Falcons went into this game, and I thought that they were going to hand the Eagles a loss. Vegas had them a 3.5-point favorite. Do you know what the Eagles did? They went in and beat the living piss out of Atlanta, 32-6. Jalen Hurts, so we have all these question marks on, 27 of 35, 264, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. The designs of the play were spectacular. Miles Sanders had 74 yards rushing. The O-line for the Eagles was dynamic. Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama, 71 yards and a touchdown. He was great. Now, look, this is only 60 minutes of football, but these are my impressions. I thought the Eagles really came out of this weekend making people do this. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. I was impressed. How about this one? Steelers and Bills. I went into this game thinking that the Bills were going to pull away late. And they just are a better team. But guess what happened on the way to reality? There the Steelers are again. There's Mike Tomlin again. He's never had a losing record in his 15 years as a head coach in Pittsburgh. They get a win in Buffalo, 23-16. Folks, every time I go against the Steelers, I lose. Because you know why? The Steelers are one of the Tiffany organizations in all of sports. They're going to get it better. Watch this, and I don't even really think Ben Roethlisberger played that great. I say this to you, I'm just like, man. And Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, is pretty good. 30 of 51, way too many passes. 270 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. I mean, I don't know about you, but again, there's Pittsburgh winning. Good for them. I'm completely never, ever going to take the Vikings ever again in a game because I think Mike Zimmer is going to get fired there in Minneapolis. That team is too good. And guess what happened on the way to getting better? The Cincinnati freaking Bengals are starting the season 1-0. They get a overtime win, 27-24. Joe Burrow, off a knee injury, turns out to be a giant star in this game. Joe Mixon runs the ball for 127 yards and a touchdown. And you know the kid that was dropping all those passes in the exhibition season, Jamar Chase? 101 receiving yards, 5 receptions. I mean, way to go, man. Cincinnati may have themselves a bell cow quarterback in Joe Burrow, former Heisman winner out of LSU. That was well done. That's a heck of a performance. I'll say this to you about the Lions in this game against the 49ers. The 49ers jump out to a 31-10 halftime lead. You think the game's over, right? Do you know what ended up happening? Okay, the Lions fought back. They put 33 points up on that 49er team. They end up losing in that game. Jared Goff goes for 338 yards, throws for 3 touchdowns in the game. But guess what? The Lions fought. And I'm not going to give merit badges to teams because they give a great effort. But that was good to see. The Lions have notoriously been a team that has quit. I've watched that football team just lay down, and they were good. 49ers get a win. They got a big game against the Eagles this coming weekend. I'll tell you, hey, you want to hear something crazy? Every single team in the NFC West won this past weekend. Okay? Every team won. That tells you it's the best division in football, and I thought it would be the best division in football. This Cardinal team with Kyler Murray, he's somebody special. This kid won the Heisman Trophy. Remember, he got drafted by the Oakland Athletics, too. Cardinals take him in the first round. He's 21 of 32, 4 touchdowns in the game, ran the ball well. DeAndre Hopkins had 83 yards and 2 touchdowns, was it? They were really good, man. They were as good as it gets. Ran the ball well, 63 yards. That's effective enough when you got a guy who runs the ball, too. The Cardinals are a sneaky team, and they got a guy on their team. His name is Chandler Jones. He had 5 sacks in the game. You know, you could talk to me all about Aaron Donald, and remember where he came from. The Patriots traded that guy away to the Cardinals for draft choices. Boy, wouldn't you like to have that guy back? Chandler Jones might break that sack record of Michael Strahan's at 22. He is a good-looking football player. Speaking of the West, Seattle, they get it done against the Colts. Russell Wilson, you know, he kind of kicked the tires a little bit. I don't think he really wanted out. I think he just wanted attention. It's okay to get attention, and it's okay to get the attention of your company when you feel that you can offer something else to your company that your company's not looking at you particularly for. Because you know what your company likes to do? They like to take credit for the success of everybody that they hire. They don't want the person that they hire to start to get some of the success organizationally. So it becomes a power struggle. You know, all of a sudden, like in my business, if a host starts suggesting things, that's not going to work for most management people. It's just not. It doesn't work that way. Either they'll take credit or fire you in the end for something else because you're getting in their way. It's really an ego, man. As much as professional sports is, radio is the same way when it comes to professional egos. It's crazy. It's the same business almost. Chris Carson I'll tell you, Chris Carson, man, there's one of those guys Pete Carroll found, and they're so good. I love the Seahawks. I do. I just love the way they go about their business. They're just a really good organization. Chargers against Washington. Man, really sad to see what happened to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up having a hip injury. Looks like he's going to be out like 5 weeks. So you would think that maybe Washington would call Cam Newton. Now, let me ask you this. They need a quarterback in Washington. Cam Newton's out there. May I ask you this? Would you hire somebody if you didn't like him, but you knew he could help you win games? Would you hire him? Would you hire somebody? You didn't get along with him, but you knew the guy could come in and win games for you. Or he could be a great salesman in your company. Would you hire him? See, to me, the sign of a great manager and a great leader is that he can take that personality and it's on the manager. It's not on the guy you hire. That's a you thing. I would hire him. And I would tell him this. Look, I know we don't get along. I know that there's been issues in our past. But listen, what I want to win. And I know you want to win. Let's somehow get to yes. And let's see if we can do this. That's a management skill set thing. I'm not going to hire him because I just don't like him. That makes no sense. I'd rather have a guy with lesser talent. Anytime you hear somebody say that, you should slap him. I'd rather have a lesser talented guy than a guy who is going to win for me and give me crap. Oh, so it's a you thing about you getting crap. I never got that. I could care less. I'm not looking for you to date my daughter, dude. I'm looking for you to come in here and make my team better. I would always hire people. You think Jimmy Johnson liked everybody he had on his team? I know he didn't. Panthers and Jets, close game, 1914. Sam Darnold gets an opportunity to play against his former team, the Jets. He was pretty decent in the game, 24-35, 279. Zach Wilson was good. Christian McCaffrey is a special player. And the Panthers start out 1-0, 1914. They get a win over the Jets. The Jets are decent, but they're not going to do anything this year. They may win 5 ball games this year. And here's this incredibly difficult game to talk about here. It's the Jaguar-Texans game. By the way, kudos to David Culley, the new head coach of the Texans, for putting all that crap aside and beating the pants off of Urban Meyer and his Jags, 37-21. Mark Ingram goes in to Houston, runs the ball for 85 yards, a former Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama. Trevor Lawrence had moments, but he was 28-51. So you make a rookie go in there. You made a rookie in his first NFL start throw the ball 51 times. No wonder he had 3 interceptions. I mean, there were 3 picks, but Tyrod Taylor, a veteran pro, fantastic stuff. Really good. This was a pretty damn good game. I watched this game. I wanted to see how the Browns were going to react to being in a big ball game and playing versus the Chiefs. I really wanted to see how that was going to go down like that. And I thought the Browns really played well. But in the end, when you play a team like the Chiefs at Arrowhead, at home, always know this. All the plays that you make, you've got to make the small plays. You have got to make every single small play. Everything has to come down to the end. And everything has to come down to the little things. And Baker Mayfield throws an interception late. Mahomes was great, 337 and 3 touchdowns. Nick Chubb for Cleveland, I thought he was just as good. Tyreek Hill, 197 yards receiving. He was really good. Had a touchdown in the game. The Chiefs look like they're going to be a damn good football team this year again. Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins showed me something. Tua Tagovailoa goes in and gets a win. You know he's won 8 of 11 ball games. And they beat the Patriots by 1 point. Pat should have won the game. They were lined up for a field goal late. They had a turnover. Mac Jones was good. 29-39. 281 touchdown. Really came down to mistakes that were made by, believe it or not, New England. They were 2 football teams that looked exactly alike, I thought. And Brian Flores, the head coach of the Dolphins, there's no coincidence because he was there in New England for 14 years. This was the shocker of the weekend, though. Saints destroyed the Packers. The Packers that was the worst game that Aaron Rodgers has ever played in his 17 years as a professional. I mean, it was brutal. And Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns, 148 yards passing. It's the lowest anyone's ever thrown in an NFL game for yardage. And had 5 touchdowns in a ball game. Alvin Kamara was great, 83 yards rushing for New Orleans, but they just annihilated him. I got to give it to Sean Payton. He coached a hell of a football game here. He really did. How about the Giants? The Giants need to fire every guy in the building. Dave Gettleman, the general manager, Daniel Jones, the quarterback, and the head coach, Joe Judge, all suck. I mean, how many years are you going to get, dude? 27-13, Teddy Bridgewater goes in there and beats the pants off you. And the Rams with Matthew Stafford, he was so good. He was so good. I'm going to give you my top 5 NFL and college teams. These are the teams that have stuck out the most to me so far in the first week and 2 weeks of the college season. We'll do it next. Just let me know if you need any help, son. Dude, that's funny. Every time people come by you, they tell me you smell like shit. Excuse me? between us. Issues with the morning thing? How about Travis Clay, a sports guy's now doing the Rush Limbaugh show? You think that lasts? He's awful good on the radio. Yeah, it's true. That's right. Correct. Nobody. Bank. Stop moaning, man. Men who moan, really, it's not becoming. Okay, well, then I'll be taping and sending them in. Yeah, watching nudes and getting nudes on my cell phone. Great. Boy, this Alliance Stadium looks great. Yeah. Hold on here. I just got a text message from Chris. Wow, is that Chris? Is that you with clothes on? Yeah, Chris just sent me a text message. Wow, he's shirtless. Holy cow! It looks like chicken bones. Then again, it's a little better than the last picture I got. No, not really, because it's unbecoming for another man to go, "How do you think I look?" I don't know, kid. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't think that's exactly what I said, but it was more so going like this. Don't ever do that again, please. Okay, I haven't eaten dinner yet, and my stomach's upset. Oh man, the things you see in radio and here, by the way. Oy vey. Can I do that on the radio? I think I just did. Anyway, it's been a interesting weekend. But one more time here on this though, with the fans. Man, really cool. Really cool. Thank you so much, Americans, for doing what you did over the weekend. You know what? I'm not going to go there any longer and rip on the people in Washington. They're insignificant to us now because we're actually doing what we want to do. The football fans of America, you're doing exactly what I hoped you'd do. You would go to these games and have a fun time. Chris and I debating ketchup and mustard on hot dogs. Fantastic. Fantastic. But guess what? At the end, I just love to see everybody in the stadiums again. I really do. I loved what I saw over the weekend. And again, in an important weekend. And did you not think, watch this, all those great people who were honoring our great fallen Americans from 9/11 20 years ago, and all the great Americans of today that were at these ball games, it was a great American weekend. Flag was great. Did you see the cat fall from the University of Miami upper deck? And they had the American flag that caught the cat. Oh my God, it was by the way, it was the best catch in the Canes game. Thank you very much. Okay. I mean, we struggled against App State. It was the best catch in the game. You see that thing, Chris? Wait a minute. Check it out. So he's hanging from the upper deck, but with one arm, you got to see it. He's hanging from, he falls, and a guy with an American flag catches him in the bottom deck, and the fans go crazy screaming. Oh, it was great. It was, and Mittens was perfect. They get this. So the Hard Rock Mittens, I love that. Way to go. Great cat name. And by the way, Hard Rock ended up donating money to like a shelter that the cat was at and all. Oh, it was just really great. Yeah. Mittens, he calls him. I don't know if his name's Mittens, but he was a tuxedo. He was a tuxedo cat. Absolutely here, man. I appreciate you coming aboard, Muhammad. Thank you so much, my friend. Very good here. Let me quickly throw these rankings out here before we go into timeout here. Steelers, Rams, Seahawks, Chiefs, Bucks, top 5 teams in the NFL. College, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Oregon, Bama, and Georgia. Those are my teams after the second week of college football and after the first week of the NFL. Steelers getting the win in Buffalo. It's got to matter. Rams with Matthew Stafford last night was spectacular. Just spectacular. I'll tell you what, 49ers and Eagles are going to be a pretty interesting ball game this week. Then on the other side of that, the Eagles have the Cowboys. Okay, and I think it's Cowboys and Chargers this weekend. That's going to be a tough ball game. I can't wait to see the NFC East. Last year it was the least. Will it be better? I don't know. Washington lost their quarterback. You know? So, yeah, John Gruden better get a win tonight. 19-29. Better get a win, bro. Better get a win. We'll reset. Still some more news in the NFL. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. No, I said oy vey. Yeah. I hear you. I got you. Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Hey, thank you very much, brother. I love you, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yep, I will. I'll have it first thing. Later, brother. Muhammad, we rerun the first hour in the last hour like they do on Colin Coward. But I'm so thankful that you subscribed. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's time for like Coronas, though, bro.